What is up, everybody? Ariel Patrice here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hello, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you for staying. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that notifications bell just so you never miss a video from me. So today's video is about my research. What exactly is my research? So as many of y'all know who have watched my videos before, I specialize in traumatized children and adolescents. That's what I've been doing for the past 3 years. And I joined this Ph.D. program for educational psychology with a focus in school psychology so that I can do research. That's the only reason why I am doing my Ph.D., because I want to do research. And I would really like to know, eventually my goal is to get to know how trauma affects students academically. And in order to do that, I need to cover some base questions first. And so for my dissertation, the research that I plan to do and that I'm in the midst of trying to work on right now, is I want to know, are in-service school psychologists, so it's twofold, right? And so when I say in-service school psychologists, I mean the people like me, the people who are in school to be a school psychologist, but they're not school psychologists yet. Are in-service school psychologists, what is their self-efficacy in being able to identify trauma symptoms in the students? And so I really want to know if in-service school psychologists even believe that they know how to identify those trauma symptoms. Do they even know what those trauma symptoms are? Do they have any trauma-informed? We don't have trauma-informed schools in this area, which is why it's so important to me to understand that question. And so have they been trauma-informed? Have they gone to any trauma-informed trainings? Do they have any background with trauma? Not necessarily their own, but have they had any training in being able to know what trauma is, what it looks like, how it could look, consequences because of it, how people are affected and all of that. And so in order for me to know how trauma affects students academically, first I need to know if the students, teachers, I'm sorry, not the students and the teachers, but the teachers and the psychologists, mainly for me, the psychologists, have the belief that they even know how to identify those symptoms to help the student, or to talk with the teachers to help that student. And so I understand that in my program, I mean, there's people who are also interested in trauma, but as far as I know, before the cohort before me, that wasn't really something that was really practiced as much. Me and somebody else who was in the cohort with me have been doing trauma together for the past 3 years, and that's why we really got into this program, because we really want to know how this works. And I truly believe it is severely important to know if our school psychologists know how to help students who have trauma. Because if we don't know how to do that, how can we expect these students to thrive or expect them to be the best versions of themselves if we can't even help the teachers to help them if we don't know? And so I want to look at in-service school psychologists, but then I also want to do a comparison of already practicing school psychologists and their self-efficacy on identifying trauma symptoms in students. And so once I come up with those questions and kind of do that, that will be my research, kind of comparing in service and then actively already serving school psychologists. And then I would like to move into the self-efficacy of them being able to help traumatized students in the schools. So first I want to know, can you identify what those symptoms look like? And then I want to know, well, do you believe that you can identify what those symptoms look like? And then I want to know, do you believe that you can actually help these trauma students? And then I want to get into how trauma affects students academically. And then I'd also eventually like to look at how students believe that the academic system can help them, like the teachers and the school psychologists and the administration, those traumatized students, how they feel that they can help them, or if they believe that they can based on their trauma. And so those will come probably, those last 3 I talked about will come most likely after I graduate. I'm not going to do a postdoc or anything. At least I don't think I am. I love school. Who knows? But I don't have it in my mind that I'm going to. And so, but I would like to look at those, but those probably won't happen until after I graduate. So right now for, in my PhD program, the actual dissertation will be being able to identify trauma symptoms in their students, and active school psychologists, their self-efficacy, and being able to identify trauma symptoms in their students. I think that's a good base to have, because I need to know if that's something that they can do or something that they believe they can do, and kind of know the background that they have, so I know how to move forward with other research in the future and how to help this area become more trauma informed. Because like I said, in this area, we don't have trauma informed schools. And I think that's a huge problem, because we have so many traumatized children and adolescents in this area. It's not even funny. And so I think it's highly important to be able to progress and move in a way of knowing what to do for these kids so that they can be the best versions of themselves as well, and don't become another statistic later just because they didn't get the help that they needed. And so, yeah, that is my research. Very passionate about it. I'm just like, you know how you just like are so passionate about something, you're just like, oh, I'm ready. Like I want to chomp down on everything. That's what I want to do. So I kind of have to rein myself back a little bit. And that's why I'm just starting with this baseline, and we'll focus solely on that baseline for my dissertation and work on the others after I graduate. And so, yeah, that is all I got, guys. That is my research. If you have any questions, concerns, or thoughts about that, leave a comment below. Like I said before, don't forget to subscribe. And I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you for staying with me. And until next time, bye.